We are given the functions f of x equals e power x and g of x equals e power x plus 9, and we have to first solve for a. So using this equation, that is f of x equals a times of g of x. So first let me replace f of x over here, that is e power x, and this equals a times of g of x is e raised to the power of x plus 9. And now I rewrite the right side expression. That is, we have e power x equals a times of. I'm going to rewrite this using the law of exponents. That is a power m times a power n. And this equals a raised to the power of m plus n. Otherwise, we can see that a raised to the power of m plus n. This expression equals a raised to the power of m times a raised to the power of n. So using this law of exponents, we can rewrite this e raised to the power of x plus 9 as e raised to the power of x times e raised to the power of 9. And now to determine a, we have to divide both sides by e power x. So let's do this division. We divide by e power x, and here also we can divide by e power x. We see that this e power x gets cancelled in the numerator and the denominators. So finally we are left with, here we have 1. So we have 1 equals a times of e power 9. Or otherwise, now we divide both sides by e power 9 to solve for a. That is a equals 1 over e raised to the power of 9. And we observe that the value of a, which equals 1 over e power 9, is a constant, because we know that the e is approximately 2.718. So when you raise this number to power 9 and take its reciprocal, that is 1 over e power 9 is basically the taking the reciprocal of e power 9. So it's going to be a constant. So we can say that a is a constant. And this answers the question, is a is a constant. So it is yes, a is a constant. Now let's determine if f of x and g of x are linearly dependent or independent. For that, I'm going to plug in the value of a into this equation. So let me do that. So therefore, we will have f of x, and this equals, we determine a as 1 over e power 9 times g of x. Clearly, if you look at this equation, we see that f of x is dependent on g of x. That is, f of x equals constant, that is 1 over e power 9 is basically a constant, some constant multiple of g of x. So therefore, we can see that both f of x and g of x are linearly dependent. They are linearly dependent, since they are constant multiples of each other. And so to answer the question, is f of x and g of x are linearly independent, we see that they are not linearly independent. Okay, f of x and g of x are linearly independent, and the answer to this question is no, because they are linearly dependent.